VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Good Tuesday morning to you. This is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV. Every taking us in, we appreciate it. It's Gill Alexander. That right there is Kelly Bidalone. Kelly Bidlin, everybody. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Happy New Year.
Hey, happy New Year's Eve.
Yeah, man.
Not yet.
You doing anything special tonight? What are you doing?
Big plans. Be in bed by about 9:30 probably.
Yeah. We got people on the roof watch the fireworks tonight. I will be sleeping right through it.
We don't really have a choice. We were just talking to Dave Ross on the way out. Like, it's not really an option for us unless you feel like sleeping for 3 hours or 4 hours, which I don't.
True dat. That is true. Thankfully, the college football game is earlier tonight, so we have no problem with that. We are packed today with a wall-to-wall guest, Drew Dinsick. The Whale Capper will join us after a week off here on the show from both the Deep Dive and NBC Sports Bet the Edge podcast. Tim Murray, college football, the Court of Special Numbers Game investigation reveals that after a 6-week break between the first round and the quarterfinals are finally here. Is anybody talking about it's a little too long of a break?
I didn't know I didn't know what the next games were. Like, I didn't realize it was next Thursday and Friday.
It's another more than a week situation. And then it's even more than that for the championship.
Right.
Oh, they dragging it out. Tim Murray to give us his thoughts on that. Plus, I want to find out. Here's the thing. For those of us who bet 360 days a year, we'll give ourselves 5 days off. We actually bet the bowl games during the day. So I'm curious if he has any thoughts on the 4 rando bowl games that precede the quarterfinals today as well. Will Hill will join us with all his bets. Zach Cohen, part of the glue that holds this whole operation together, all of his bets. Jason Weingart from Under a Cloud of Smoke. See if he can't get me tickets for a potential Skins-Rams playoff game. Just use that segment to try to lobby for tickets, that kind of thing.
We really need a live stream of you and Jason watching a game together on location.
Hey, Jason, what a play by Jaden. He's like, yeah, did you see this thing on Twitter?
Got a guide job for new AP camp. You go do a road trip to LA with Gill.
So looking forward to that. We must begin, but we'll take a look at all the NFL awards a little later on the show as well. Let us start with last night's Monday Night Football game, a game that had no consequence. Unless again, for you, someone pointed this out on Twitter. Forgive me for not remembering who, but if the Lions were to have lost last night, that would have at least said that if the Vikings and Lions tied last week, it would have gone the Vikings' way. So there was that, I guess. That is one thing that was on the line yesterday. Outside of that, nothing was, and Dan Campbell kept his promise. Played everybody. Got away with it. 40-34, the Lions beat the Niners. I'm not talking about the win necessarily, but just the fact that he got away with not having any injuries.
What's he doing?
He's out of his gourd.
That's all I can think about.
Yeah,
the whole game. The whole game. Like, what is this crazy man doing?
I have no idea. Yeah, he got away with this. And what kills me, though, is that most of the media is always like, but that's Dan Campbell, and, he's going to be true to himself and all this. And it's like everyone loves to be friendly or friends with a guy like Dan Campbell, and no one has no one sits there and says strongly, this is idiotic. But no one gets hurt, thank goodness, for Detroit. 40-34, they beat the Niners, but the real story here is, yes, the Lions' offense was fantastic, but they might have a little defensive problem here.
No.
That is really rearing its head. The Niners' first drives of the game, 11 plays, 61 to the house, 7-0. Second drive, 6 plays, 70 yards to the house, 14-6. Third time they had the ball, 7 plays, 70 yards. Purdy to Pearsall for 40. That set up a Purdy touchdown run from 9 out, 21-13, San Francisco. Fourth time they had the ball was fourth time they had the ball was the first time they got stopped. You know what stopped them? The end of the half.
Mm-hmm.
And Moody missed the field goal. By the way, Moody, my goodness.
Oh, boy. That's a problem.
Ooh.
That's an off-season issue.
Ever since Debo went after him, he's terrified. So it's 21-13. By the way, it wasn't over. Then when San Francisco got the ball for the first time in the second half, they scored again, 6 plays, 84 yards, Purdy to Debo, the little pitch forward. It was 28-21 San Francisco at that point. So they had not stopped. The Detroit Lions, the vaunted 14-2 Detroit Lions, had not stopped a San Francisco 49ers team that, let's face it, it's a lost season. They hadn't done anything. And then it felt like the Niners were taking out a year's worth of frustration on the Lions defense. And then finally, Brock Purdy came to their rescue where he just threw a miserable pass. Airmailed the intended receiver, Kirby Joseph, picked that one off. Detroit finally took the lead. Then Moody missed a 58-yarder. No shame in that, I suppose, except for the fact that he missed all the other stuff lately. And then Detroit, which kept going for it on fourth down, right? That's the other thing with Dan Campbell. He just goes for it on fourth down. It worked out. They got a 34-28 lead, and then Purdy was picked again. Almost the same thing, like an overthrow right down the middle of the field by Kirby Joseph, or picked by Kirby Joseph. And so Detroit was able to take a 2-score lead, and they hold on for the 40-34 win. And let me just also say this. Purdy got hurt. He re-aggravated his elbow injury, the one he had surgery on. He had to leave the game. And then Joshua Dobbs, who, let me just say this, is the greatest come into a game and do well player in the history of the NFL. But apparently, no one likes him when he practices. So
you just said that perfectly. I know we tracked this story.
It's just incredible, this guy.
We were obsessed with this story all last year, but that is really the perfect way to put it. I have no idea how good of a quarterback he is, but if I need a guy for like 5 plays randomly in the middle of a game, bring him in. Give me Dobbs.
Dobbs comes in. He's like, I got this. No problem. 40-34. The Lions survive the I do declare, the onside kick. And they win it. But the question becomes... And by the way, with Dobbs, last thing, you don't think the Raiders or the Giants or the Titans couldn't have had a better record with that guy this year?
We don't know, Gill. You just said it yourself. We don't know. He sucks in practice,
Maybe he
apparently.
stinks in practice. He's like 3rd on the depth chart.
I still can't get over. Like, Broccoli. Okay, first of all, I get way too excited about Brock Purdy these days. He's so fun he's a gunslinger. I love it. I don't care about the stupid interception sometimes. Watch out, this 49ers offense getting hot at the right time, right? But it's Purdy leaves this game late. What if that's Jared Goff? It's all I kept thinking about the whole game, man.
100%. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, they get through it, but the question is obvious, right? The question is, first of all, there's a Brock Purdy. What about your contract if your elbow's seriously hurt on that side?
Yeah.
But for our purposes now, the Lions play the Vikings in a 14-2 versus 14-2 showdown for it all. And by all, I mean not only the NFC North, but the number 1 seed in the playoffs of the NFC. And you have to axe yourself, if I may, what's going to happen here with a total of 57 on this game largely because of what we saw last night. This total moved 5 points.
Yeah. I got my Don Best screen open right here, Gil. This is South Point app when it goes to sleep at night at 52. I'm assuming they're hanging a higher number in shop right now. And offshore, 58. We're up to 58.
58, highest total of the year in the National Football League for the most important game, one might argue, of the entire season in the National Football League. The Vikings and the Lions, the Sunday night final game of the regular season as well, where the Lions, by the way, are 2.5-point home favorites. 2.5-point home favorites.
I'm on the Vikings in a teaser, Gill, in the classic Wong situation with the total of 58.
That's right. Stanford Wong, real name John Ferguson, is like, I didn't mean it for 58s.
What was the old cutoff? Like 41 and a half or something like that?
It does not apply to 58s. I did, just based on guessing lines yesterday, for those who missed it, probably the most fun guessing lines of the year yesterday.
I had a good time.
Kelly had a good time. Week 18, because of the Michigas with all the the incentives and the motivations, you have no idea what each coach or how certain coaches are going to play it given their circumstances. And we went through it team by team yesterday, from seeding ramifications to do you try to get these players' records ramifications. And so I did make 2 bets. Usually I make them during the show. I made 2 bets based on our breakdowns yesterday. 2 of which, two of the 3 of which were, I had the wrong team favorite. And so I went ahead and made the bets. I made a bet on the Houston Texans. I guessed that the Houston Texans would be 3-point favorites at Tennessee. Kelly told me on the show that Tennessee was a 3-point favorite. A couple hours
I think it was 4 when
Was
we
it
were doing
4?
the show. Yeah.
So about an hour and a half, 2 hours after the show, you text me and you say, "Oh, it's a pick'em." To which, and I'm like, "Ah, so mad I didn't play this." So I played it as a pick'em. I played the Houston Texans as a pick'em, and again, Houston, yes, they're locked into the number 4 seed in the AFC. However, I made the point that they have looked as bad as anybody heading into the postseason. They should probably want to play a relatively good football game. And then the flip side, I pointed out was, and the Titans have absolutely no incentive to win because right now they're slotted in as the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. They need a quarterback. For God's sakes, give me the Texans. And then the other one was, I had the Rams favored by 3.5 was my guess yesterday, and you told me the Seahawks were favored by 3, and I'm like, wait a minute. The Rams absolutely want to be the 3 seed because they don't want to fall to a 4 seed and have to play the loser of the Vikings-Lions game. So I bet the Rams plus 3. Thankfully, that one did not move strongly after the show, so I still had that at plus 3. So those are the 2 bets I've made. Kelly points out to me this morning about the Geno Smith incentive clauses.
Oh, this is crazy.
With the Seattle Seahawks. So in case you haven't heard this, Geno Smith gets $2 million each if he surpasses his career high. $2 million each if he surpasses his career high in passing yards, 42.82, passing touchdowns, 30, completion percentage, 69.75%, passer rating, 100.874, and either 10 wins or a playoff berth. If he got all 5 of his personal statistic categories, then he's in line for an additional $5 million. So my response to that was, so does that mean
$several million?
My response to that was, does that mean ownership's going to tell him to sit Geno? Like, I don't know. Does that give you more hope for Seattle, or are you like ownership's going to call him in the third quarter, be like, get him out of the game?
Just look Geno props.
Anyway, doesn't sway me. Rams plus 3 is the play. We'll come back. Tim Murray and Drew Dinsick prior to that. Next.
Here are 3 reasons ZYN is America's #1 nicotine pouch. We use food-grade ingredients. We have a wide selection of varieties, and they all come in 2 strengths. Find ZYN at a store near you.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
On the next Follow the Money, the playoffs are here. Boise State and Penn State. Mitch is back. Derek Stevens, owner of Circa, on the final week of Survivor. Paul Stone with picks. Follow the Money weekdays, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
On the next episode of Make It Rain, yours truly going to be off on New Year's Eve, so VSiN host Scott Seidenberg going to host a show out in Vegas. Scotty's going to get you set to place all your bets for the start of the college football playoffs, quarterfinals, and Scott's going to be joined by my guy Zach Cohen to preview all the odds for Tuesday's NBA slate. You don't want to miss the Z-Train's best bets. This is Adam Shine, wishing everyone a Happy New Year. Tune in to Tuesday's episode of Make It Rain at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The holidays are here, and so is the ultimate gift for every sports bettor, a VSiN Pro subscription. With VSiN Pro, you'll unlock expert picks sent to your inbox daily, access to exclusive betting splits, and 24/7 video coverage through the VSiN Watch app. Plus, betting guides and best bets for the college football playoffs, the Super Bowl, and March Madness. Lock in our holiday special, just $79 through May 1st. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe and join the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Hey, did you get my bottle of Sewell's for me yesterday? Sewell's barbecue sauce? Did you secure that for me?
That was this motion to Brendan in the back. Ryan Pineda, who makes our graphics, was going downstairs to get us all Sewell's. Where'd he go? He's clearly eating barbecue.
Oh, that's helpful, Randy. Ready to take your tailgate to the next level? You got to try Sewell's Barbecue. Born from a backyard cookout in a mason jar of unforgettable flavor, Sewell's has become a Southern favorite, delighting taste buds. From Georgia to the Carolinas, look at that. Give me my bottle. From smoky ribs and mouth-watering wings to the perfect backyard burger, Sewell's turns every bite into a flavored, packed experience. Order now at SewellsBarbecueSauce.com. That's SEWELLS BBQ Sauce.com. Flavor this good is just a click away. It's Gill Alexander. It's Kelly Bidlin. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciate the feedback. Oh, I got to go way back tonight on these. Cheap prop bets. Thank you to Kelly for giving out Baker Mayfield to have the most picks at 14-1. And I believe Drew gave out Thomas most receiving yards at 16-1. Talking about Brian Thomas Jr. of the Jaguars. Great sweats for this NFL weekend. Happy New Year. Yes, Brian Thomas Jr., who has a very small lead right now, I believe, in receiving yards at 16-1 for, we're talking about rookie receivers now is what we're talking
rookies,
about.
Yep.
And Baker Mayfield didn't play for the interceptions as well. Trip Tepper, 2 things no human being alive can explain: how the Egyptians built the pyramids without industrial machinery, and how Ron Rivera is getting interviewed as an NFL head coaching candidate. I completely agree.
Did you catch the other name?
Rex Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Get excited.
But so Rex Ryan is more interesting to me because it's like, oh, throwback, okay,
sure,
whatever.
Yeah.
But Ron Rivera is one of these guys. Everybody loves him so much, you're not allowed to say a bad word about him. But it's like, why?
Yeah, no, I get it.
What?
I don't know how excited I am on selling a fan base, though, on a guy we fired 10 years ago either.
Well, I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying I like it better than Rivera. The Better Life, Tim Lawson, Megapod historian. I have to thank Dan Campbell for his dedication to winning. I now only need 102 more passing yards from Goff to cash 4,500 plus season passing yards at plus 500, 5-1. I'm getting the gift basket ready. There you go. Roger Jones, endless wings, baby. Happy New Year to casting crew. To you too as well. D-Gen Southern Gent, yo. Long-time tweeter, first-time yoer. Happy New Year's, gentlemen. No wit, humor, insight to share today. Just wanted to say thanks for another great year of helping this degenerate fight the good fight. Mazel tov, Gilly. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We'll read more tweets, but we got to get to our buddy Drew Dinsick, who wasn't with us last week. He's back again. God knows where he is headed on Earth today. Courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, you can follow him on Twitter at whale_capper. He is the co-host of the Deep Dive with Andy Molitor, and of course, NBC Sports Bet the Edge, which he does with Jay Croucher. He joins us now from his home in the LBC. Look at Drew. How you doing, man?
Tremendous. Happy New Year. And I know some people might be like, that's a little early. Not for us, Gill, because the tennis season is in swing. It is, I don't know I lost a little sleep last night. I wanted to see if there was going to be a break in that Pateshi Pericard Kyrgios match. Yeah. But no, 36 service games, 36 holds. And yes, I know Pateshi Pericard has the lateral movement of a fire plug, but still pretty impressive that the serving and the timing is there for Kyrgios to take that to a third set tiebreak. But
Kyrgios saying after the match though that he is not in good shape. That his wrist is hurting him. That it could be. He doesn't know if he can go for the Australian Open now. I don't know if he was saying that after the match because he lost. So he just wanted to he was in the moment, but he's saying that it was not a good outcome, even though he played great, as you said. At least his serve was great.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like a lot of this was sort of publicity stunty in general.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have expected him to do anything at the Australian Open.
No.
He's a character, and it's fun having him around because right now, at least on the men's side of the tour, it doesn't feel like there's much drama. Women's side, say that basically the opposite.
Yes.
I don't think the women's tour has ever been in as good a shape as it is in right now in terms of real, true, meaningful contenders. And I cannot wait to see this draw, particularly for the women's Aussie Open.
Can't wait you ready to do a podcast? You want to do one for the Australian Open when it comes around? That's what we do.
Absolutely. It's going to have to be on Wednesday next week, but we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that off air. Drew and I are just doing scheduling here for everybody.
And thanks for getting me pumped about a Nick Kyrgios return for 20 seconds.
No, it's not gonna happen. By the way, so pre-draw, you have not made any Australian Open bets?
I have like 100-something to 1 on Belinda Bencic after I saw her play one match in the United Cup. And then I watched her play Paolini, and I was like, oops. So, yeah, one dead bet for me so far.
Okay, there's that. Any tennis today before we move on?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any match bets yet. But I think this is everybody seems like they're in pretty good form right now. So this is going to be a pretty competitive Aussie.
It's the difference between tennis and golf once again, Kelly. Is golf, the season starts and they play some golf, they ramp up and they finally get to a slam. Not tennis, slam right off the bat.
It's like NASCAR, Daytona.
Okay.
Oh, good call.
Yeah. Drew, can you share with everybody, Drew, a couple things. We want to share what you're doing today. And we also have, Kelly and I were talking yesterday. Kelly is such a sweet kid. Can I call you kid?
Sure.
He was in Florida yesterday. And not yesterday, but last week. And he was thinking about gifting you because your 2 fish, perished. We don't know how. There's still an investigation going on. He was thinking about figuring out how to ship you 2 fish. And it's such a nice gesture.
I happened to be at a pet store.
Yeah, he happened to be at a pet store.
I was like, fish!
He wasn't just thinking lovingly about you, but he was at a pet store. But and there's shipping stuff with fish, and there's all that. And then I said, I don't think you gift fish because fish are really personal, right? Like you want to be able to pick them out yourself. Is that a correct call?
I wouldn't gift fish, but not because of the personal part of it. It can be a little tricky. Like if you provide a fish that doesn't get along with the other fish in somebody's tank, then they got to get a new tank just for that fish. It can get tricky in that regard. But I don't think there's anything wrong with coming up with a unique gift like that. And it does. I would be lying if I'd be lying if I said I'm not thinking about getting a bigger tank for Rafa, who's the last remaining of the tennis fish, and then putting like a community tank back behind us that has less aggressive fish that are less likely to chase each other out of the tank in a mass suicide effort. So I'm strongly thinking of getting another tank, and then that'll be just a community tank, which in that case you can accept gifts of fish and at no consequence.
We imagine that you would be telling people, oh, look at my beautiful fish, and there's Kelly and Gill's fish up in the corner.
I'm thinking of blowfish. I think it needs a blowfish.
Yeah. Okay, week 18 in the National Football League. I actually made 2 bets. I'm on the Rams plus the points. I'm on the Houston Texans. Did you land on anything? Have you made any bets?
Texans was the big one for me yesterday. I kind of fell out of my chair. I got up and I saw that was still 4.5. What? Even Pick'em is still clearly Texans to me.
I got up and I Pick'em because I was too slow at 4.5.
I still is. It took a couple clicks to get what I was interested in on a Monday morning, but that said, I'm still shocked that this is kind of considered fair price here. I can't believe in my mind the Texans aren't going to go for 10 wins and in particular try to really swing some of the momentum that seems to kind of have calcified around their performance lately.
Exactly my logic. Yes. And the Titans have no incentive to win.
No, Titans. You want to see 2 teams that did themselves 0 favors last weekend? Look at the Giants and look at the Raiders. Like the Giants and the Raiders were battling it out for first overall pick 2 weeks ago. You blink, and now the Giants are picking 4th. They're gonna maybe have their 3rd choice of quarterback. Yikes! And the Raiders are picking what, 8th or 9th?
8th.
Like they might be 5th choice in a bad quarterback class. The Raiders, who desperately need to fix the quarterback position, have taken themselves entirely out of position to do that. So if the tanking in the NFL this year hasn't even really felt as voluntary as it should have. But we are staring at, we talk about this every single year in August. We talk about this, Gill, where the distribution of totals as they project them is clustered around 500, and then it ends up spreading out.
Yes.
And oh my God, this year is crazy. How many 3-win teams there are this year? It's like this is crazy.
We have 9.
How broad it is.
9 3 and 4 win teams. 9.
Yeah.
It's more than a quarter of the league.
Yeah, you're going to have a 15-win 5 seed.
A 14-win 5 seed, yes, but still.
14-win 5 seed.
But still,
yeah, that's right.
Yes,
yeah.
That's right.
It's outrageous. Yeah.
It's incredible. And that's, that we've seen this in baseball, the chasm between the haves and the have-nots widening. And now we're getting it in the NFL. Pete Rozell's dream of parity not exactly manifesting at this point. Anything else besides the Texans?
I'm going to war with Carson Wentz at +10 here. Too big of a number.
I'm starting to get there.
The backups for KC are good, particularly the wide receiver tight end group they have there. I think they're going to have some passing success here. And I know that this game means a lot for Denver, but you're still asking, Bo Nix to win by 2 touchdowns against Spagnuolo. Okay, good luck. I think 10 points is the right call.
And we're not, this is also, we should point out, a situation where you don't sit everybody. You're not allowed to sit everybody. You're allowed to sit, 5-6 players.
Yeah, you only have 53 guys on the roster.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Kansas City +10, I'm starting to get there as well. Certainly as a contest pick, even though, obviously, I'm not in the contest of any import at this point. More with Drew Dinsick on the other side. Football and beyond. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
They're off.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Want to become a sharper bettor this holiday season? VSiN has the ultimate gift for you, or the sports bettor in your life, if it's not you. This is the final week to take advantage of our holiday special. Get VSiN Pro access to everything we offer through May 1st for just $79. Sign up now, get instant access to daily best bets to help you cash more tickets, exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 video access to VSiN's expert insights, and all of our betting guides. All of them! And all the expert picks for the college football playoffs, Super Bowl, March Madness, everything you need to win big this season. Make the holiday season unforgettable with the gift of smarter betting. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe now and unwrap your winning edge today. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Should I Ron Burgundy through some tweets? I think I should. This is from 3Jack, H3131. Gill, shouldn't you be reading the barbecue sauce promo in a southern accent? Happy New Year to you and Kelly. Yeah, maybe I should.
We had Sewell's tweet in yesterday. Maybe they can they can answer that for us.
I'll start.
What they prefer.
Foghorn leghorning the Sewell's read.
Darnell did just bring back, I believe, 2 big boxes of Sewell's.
This is from Kim. I love it. Ron Rivera. Why? That's all. That's the whole tweet. JD in Florida. I think that means Florida. Happy New Year, Jets. It's almost Aussie Open time, but until then, enjoy the ball drop tonight. This is from Charles in Connecticut. Rex Ryan, Ron Rivera. Do the Jets think they need to hire someone with RR initials? Maybe that's what they think the Rooney Rule is. Another RR. See what I did there? Happy New Year, guys. That's from Charles in Connecticut. A Nemesis Enforcer. Kyrgios, no cap. He had TFCC surgery. Hurts like hell. From personal experience, he'll never be the same. Had same surgery in 2015 and still can't hit the ball consistently. Some days wrist hurts like I still need surgery again. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to minimize it. I don't think he's making it up. I wonder if the emotion of the moment, having lost, exaggerated it. But he'll never. I mean, I don't think anyone expects him to ever be the same player that he was. A guy who got to, let's not forget, the Wimbledon finals. Scott, New York Mets 16. Why is Baltimore playing before Pittsburgh on Saturday if the NFL wants to keep as many games as possible relevant? A Raven win means Pitt has nothing to play for, correct? Not exactly, Scott. As I talked about yesterday on Guessing Lines, the Steelers still, and this is, I think most people are saying that, Baltimore wins and Pittsburgh can't win the division, so they have nothing to play for. Pittsburgh still wants to be the number 5. They want to be the 5 seed so that they can go to play at Houston, which right now looks like the most favorable matchup. So I would disagree. I think there is something for Pittsburgh to play for. And then Lance Schaefer. Yesterday I said lead the narrative for Burrow. I meant for Offensive Player of the Year, not for MVP. My big ticket is for Offensive Player of the Year. Happy New Year. Okay, Lance. I got it all straight. Burrow for Offensive Player of the Year. Just want to make sure.
Write down Lance's bet.
That's right. Drew Dinsick, kind enough to join us once again from the LBC. He's at whale_capper, again, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Can I throw, before we get back to football, Drew, can I throw some DraftKings rando season-long tennis props at you? Kelly found these. These are awesome.
Oh, there's nothing more than I love than a rando season-long tennis prop. Had a really fun exercise this time last year with just a brilliant tennis mind on Twitter. They had like 2 finish in the top 10 markets at the faraway place, and literally trying to figure out which of the women were really going to make a leap into that top 10. You could get some huge prices. I want to say like Zheng Xingwen was in like the 375 range. And, like there was a lot of stuff like that was really fun last year. Of course, I did not have Jasmine Paolini, but that price was probably like 50 to 1. But anyway, I love some season-long tennis props.
Who could have had Paolini?
So you guys have bet these kind of ranking props before?
Yeah,
we were kind of talking about during the break.
Well, if you go to our tennis hardo chat, they're betting all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I make an appearance once every 6 months and I show myself out. This is from DraftKings, and good on DraftKings, by the way, for having these. Alcaraz Sinner, end of season ranking, match bet. Ooh. Sinner -140, Alcaraz +105.
This is a very, very obviously easy call. This actually feels like a little bit of a free roll for the player. Alcaraz.
Got to, right? Yeah.
There are 3 reasons. One is the most obvious. There is a non-zero chance that Sinner misses a portion of this season serving a WADA suspension. The news has not quieted down at all that they're just going to let that thing resolve without making him miss time. And if that comes down at any point this season, then he has 0 chance of finishing ahead of Mr. Alcaraz in the year-end rankings. I would say the second reason to consider this is a lot of the season is contested on clay, and Alcaraz is clearly a better clay player. He will definitely be able to at least keep pace with Sinner in terms of ranking points through the central portion of the season when they're playing on clay and grass. And then the third reason is like Alcaraz is less likely to miss time because of injury. Sinner at least had a very lucky year last year in terms of avoiding injury. Who knows if it had anything to do with his health and conditioning program, but we'll leave that to speculation. I think Alcaraz had a kind of a bad luck year last year with injuries through the middle portion of the season. He has a clean season this year. He could just beat him on merit. So I think it's reasonable to take a shot at the price there on Mr. Alcaraz, and you're going to dig yourself a little bit of a hole in the month of January and February, but then the next thing you know, it's clay season and you're good.
Better bet the match bet there, or to finish number one at the end of 2025. Alcaraz plus 175 there, Sinner minus 125.
I'm going to say to finish number one. I think right now the men's tournament is a tale of two contenders. I honestly don't think that there's really a third choice that has a chance to get to year-end number one here.
Not Djokovic at 10-1.
Definitely not Djokovic. I mean, I don't really get a good sense of what is going on with him right now. Like the Andy Murray stuff, the doubles with Kyrgios stuff. This feels to me like he's kind of on like a farewell tour year now that he's kind of outlasted.
He's 37.
He's up there, and he's outlasted Nadal and Federer. He's got the most titles. Like he probably would like one more slam, and I would imagine he's kind of focusing on slams this year. And that's the reason why I would think there's very, very little chance he's year-end number one. If you want to be year-end number one, you got to play probably 30 tournaments this year, and he's probably got maybe 10 in them.
All right, a 10-second answer to this last question, because, again, all these are DraftKings matchups, rankings, over-unders. Women number one end of year, Swiatek even money, Sabalenka plus 105, Coco plus 350, Rybakina 11-1, Zhang Xinwen 18-1.
I would take price here, almost certainly. And I would circle three players, Rybakina 11-1, Mukova 40-1, and Paolini 80-1.
Wow.
I think that the top of women's tennis is a little bit of there's just this narrow margins between these gals right now, and they'll succeed on their various surfaces and in various conditions. And I think the Rybakina bet is mostly that she's kind of had she had the most obvious rest at the end of last year. She's got a new coach in Ivanisevic, which I really thought was an awesome pairing. Really should help her improve her game. And, I don't know if that happens in 2025. That may be more like 2026 where you see those improvements meaningful, maybe I'm starting to matter. But no, I don't think this is a two-woman race. I think that the top of tennis right now on the women's side is really in good shape.
And Danielle freaking Collins, Kelly, refusing to retire at 150-1. All right.
I don't know what's going on with her.
Before we go, let's get back to football.
Yeah.
Week 18, okay, that will come and go. We've got 13 of the 14 teams already figured out. We don't know the order or the seedings necessarily, but we know most of the group here. Give me your most outlying opinion in both the AFC and the NFC, generally speaking.
My most outlying opinion in the AFC is that the Bills are not on the same level as the Chiefs and the Ravens in terms of championship equity. I think they're clearly the third choice in the AFC right now. And honestly, I think that the AFC is a lot more predictable, whereas the NFC is wide freaking open. And there is a chance that a real wild card comes through in the NFC, which would mean that like there's value in betting either Chiefs or Ravens Super Bowl right now. And so I would say pick your horse. And for me, it's the Ravens. I think that's pretty clearly like the team that is playing the best right now. I have them power rated to the tune of being maybe a 2.5-point favorite at the Chiefs in an AFC playoff game, assuming they get there healthy. And I think this is exactly the kind of cycle that they needed to break through at long last. So I don't think the Bills defense is even close in terms of sniffing competitive playoff matchup football, and to the degree that their offense is going to have to be perfect in that 2-7 matchup. If it's I guess maybe if it's the Broncos, but if the Dolphins or Bengals sneak in at the 7 seed there, and I know that we're counting on Carson Wentz winning a game, but let's just assume that happens. The Bills look like actually a potential banana peel matchup in that 2-7 with the way their defense is playing.
Define wide open in the NFC for me. Just how wide open?
I could see any of the 7.
Any of them?
Any of them. I don't, because I think the Lions are going to win and get the 1 seed, and they look like the most absolute vulnerable 1 seed that has ever existed with the way that defense is playing. Like, they have to score 40 to win a game. Like, that is not a way to win, 2 competitive games when there's this many good teams in the mix. The best defense is Philly, but I don't trust Jalen Hurts at all right now. The best quarterback is probably Daniels. Like, that's amazing to say it out loud, but your rookie quarterback is the best of those 7, and he's got no experience. Any of those 7 teams can win.
Did you just suggest that the District of Columbia Skins could get to the Super Bowl? Is that what you just did?
Hey, I'd love to see it. I think it's very possible. Actually, I like their path at the 6th seed, honestly.
I kind of do, too. Thank you, Drew. Good seeing you, man.
Best luck, guys.
Tim Murray, college football next.
Got a good thing coming. Just wait and see. It's a good.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing the all-new VSiN Watch app. Now, you can watch and listen to VSiN expert analysis live wherever you are. Missed a show? No problem. Catch replays of VSiN's full lineup at any time. View highlights sorted by sport. Or use the search feature to find specific teams and topics you're looking for. And the best part? It's free for a limited time. Download the VSiN Watch app today. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. And join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Are you the kind of player who wants to drop $10,000 or more on an NFL line at the best price in the market, or maybe you're looking for instant acceptance on your in-game bets? Well, you need Sport Trade, the app that's revolutionizing sports betting. With minus 104 lines, instead of the standard minus 110, instant in-game betting, and a dedicated concierge player service, Sport Trade delivers a premium betting experience like no other. Now live in New Jersey, Colorado, Iowa, Arizona, and Virginia. Download Sport Trade today. Use code VSiN to earn 10% cash back on every wager during your first week. Terms apply. Got to be 21 or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. It's Gill Alexander. It's Kelly Bidlin. The Sport Trade read. If I could just take you behind, the broadcast part of this. There's a line there that says, now live in New Jersey, Colorado, Iowa, Arizona, and Virginia. And the last couple of times I've read it like a million times. The last couple of times I want to say, now live in New Jersey, Colorado. So it's like telling you to go live in those 5 states.
Go live there
now. Live in Colorado. Yeah, anyway. We got
all the Sewells. Thanks, Sewells.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Sewells pyramid here.
I was just
barbecue
wondering,
sauce.
Why did Darnell not complete the pyramid? Coward.
Total coward move by Darnell.
Coward. Or he saw another box where a bunch of barbecue sauce had exploded.
Darnell, by the way, also responsible for playing the Caleb William Nothing Special audio, which now I have people mad at me on Twitter. They're like, you're going to have karma for Jaden for playing that. Someone tweeted me that yesterday. I was like, I didn't do it. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciate it. It's Joe C714. He had a 4-leg same-game parlay yesterday. You ready for this?
Fire away.
Pearsall to score, Jamison Williams to score, Detroit to win, over 50 points. Bang. Joe C714.
There we go.
A707. Hey, Gil, with the Giants win on Sunday, do you know what the tiebreaker is for the least NFL season win prop bet? Or do books pay out everybody that's tied? I bet the Patriots' least regular season wins at plus 350 before season started. Thanks. We always say check the rules, but my hunch here is that it's a dead heat.
Yeah, I mean, I have Patriots fewest wins too. I haven't even checked. I'm just bracing for like a $2 return on that.
Yeah.
So, $2.73.
Dead heat's not very fun.
It sucks.
Yeah. And Jesse Welch, man, oh man, in-play alt-overs in last night's game was exciting. And Brosec 1870, Steven, stacked show to end the year. Happy New Year's, guys. Looking forward to keep winning with you in the new year. Also, what do I do with my 7-1 Vikings 1 seed from a couple weeks ago? What do you do with it?
It's a great bet.
I mean,
I don't know about you, Gil.
You got to take some Detroit money line if you're that interested in hedging it.
Yeah.
But you made the bet for a reason. You think Minnesota's way? I mean, if you're having doubts, then you would have, Detroit money line would be the.
You have an easy hedge position.
It's not that easy.
I'd probably take a little bit off of it.
But yeah, you might want. I mean, if that's your thing. Just wanted to say this before we get to Tim, because Tim, can I say this about our guest? Tim is so busy doing other college football shows right now.
He's the man.
Because obviously with the quarterfinals, that we just have a moment. Can I just say the Savannah thing real quick?
Yeah.
So before we get to Tim, because he's wrapping up his other interview, yesterday or before the last few days I've been mentioning, to the whole crew here, I've given each of them $100 to make a futures bet. And then we're going to track all of them. The first one in is the lovely Savannah, who has
her first bet, by the way.
Her first bet ever.
First bet ever.
Okay,
yes.
So she has taken the $100 and she has bet on. Now, did she go to Oregon? She went.
Savannah confirmed that in my ear. She's going to the game though.
She went to Oregon. She's going to the Rose Bowl tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so she's on the Ducks plus 450 here at Circa to win the whole dealio. So there you go. That's the first one.
I think there's a couple. I think Ryan Pineda sent me a 3-leg parlay that includes the Ducks winning it.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got Ducks, the Ducks winning it, then Lions NFC, Chiefs AFC.
That is allowed. Wow. What does that pay?
33-1.
Okay. We're going to track all of these. By the way, should I also give a prize to the winner on top of the gift? If the person if only one person wins this and it's the most money? Savannah's like, yes, in my ear. Yes, prize. Okay, we'll come up with a prize.
Well, then this is gaming it, right? Like just
gaming the game.
Yeah, just bet like a minus 900 to be the last person left alive.
Gaming the game. Great book from the great Sean Patrick Griffin about the Tim Donaghy scandal. Ladies and gentlemen, he is co-host of VSiN Prime Time and lots of other VSiN shows, including the College Football Tailgate Show. He's got the College Football Podcast, which does it wonderfully. It's the great Tim Murray, ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, at @1Tim Murray on the Twitter machine. How about them Skins? Let's start there, my friend.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's the first time since 1991, Gil, that we've had 11 wins in a season. And, we've talked about it so much. I've had you on my game day show in DC a little bit. It's still hard to believe. And, a game like Sunday night, when you just assume that they're going to lay an egg, they don't. They come back, they win in overtime. So, hey, man, the sky's the limit. I'm happy that Circa had a pretty juicy number in the preseason on Jaden to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. They got as high as 8-1. I took at 775. So I'm pinching myself, man. And I've talked to you about it. My fandom has waned on this franchise because of the previous owner, and now it is coming back in very strong. And don't call me fair weather. I was born and raised in the city. We got beaten and battered. I never really enjoyed the heyday of the Hogs like you did. But now, man, this is a lot of fun. And hopefully it doesn't crash and burn like it did in 2012, because we all remember that year, Gil. That year, incredible. And then it went so sideways so fast. I don't envision that happening here. Very impressed by what we've seen. Quinn, GM Peters, the ownership, all of this. So sky like it's the limit there for this Washington.
All right, let's do rapid fire college football. By the way, I think you speak for most Washington football team fans when you talk about the waning under Daniel Snyder. Before we get to the quarterfinals, real quick, and by real quick I mean let's rapid fire this. Anything on the 4 bowl games today before the quarterfinals begin? Alabama, Michigan. Michigan sort of saves their season with the win over Ohio State. Alabama maybe a little deflated here. Louisville, Washington, a lot of opt-outs. Louisville lost really only one bad game to Stanford this year, but a lot of opt-outs. South Carolina, Illinois. I kind of like South Carolina laying the points. And then Baylor, LSU, too many opt-outs. Any play? If I made you make one play today in those 4, what would you do?
Yeah, I put together a moneyline parlay last night, Alabama to Baylor. I think Baylor's going to be pretty motivated. LSU's got a fair share of opt-outs, a lot of questions on the offensive line for LSU today. So that was a play that I made. It was also to get off a position, to be honest. Early on in the bowl season, you try to get ahead of these line movements, and I've been fortunate on a handful of them, not so much on Michigan. I thought Michigan would be the side. I took 11.5. They're now 16.5-point dogs. I think Alabama probably destroys them. So I threw it into the picks page late last night, a little money line parlay. It was like $1.20. I don't know what it is now. I think it's higher just because of the movement today with Alabama. Up to a 16.5-point favorite. But I do like Baylor. I didn't really want to lay 3.5, maybe an in-game play if you want to look that way. But I think Baylor, from an opt-out standpoint, less hit than LSU. As I mentioned, Gill, a lot of questions on the offensive line for LSU. So I like Baylor to win today. So I just had to find a dance partner, and I threw him with Alabama to take care of business today.
All right, quarterfinals start tonight. Boise State, double-digit dog against Penn State. Can the Boise State line on both sides of the football hold up enough to cover here?
I think that's the biggest question. I'm glad you brought it up. Ashton Genty, many have made the argument that he should have won the Heisman over Travis Hunter. He has been phenomenal, the Boise State running back. But I have some serious questions about this Boise State front. And I have questions about their defense as well. I know they played well in the Mountain West Championship game, but this is a horse of a different color going up against Penn State. So I really want to get to the window on Boise State. I know a couple of our colleagues at VSiN, Matt Humans, has taken the points here with Boise State. Look, they've got some magical voodoo in the Fiesta Bowl, right? They've won 3 of these bowl games. Now, it hasn't happened in 10 years, the last time they won the Fiesta Bowl against Arizona in 2014. But I want to take Boise. I just haven't gotten there yet. I think Penn State wins, but I don't have much interest in laying 11.
Hook and ladder and Statue of Liberty in that famous Fiesta Bowl with Boise State, if I recall correctly.
Oklahoma 2007, one of the best games of college football history.
And a proposal.
And a proposal. Afterwards, that's right. Okay,
Arizona. The guy's name.
Arizona State still also talking about double-digit dogs. Arizona State chronologically tomorrow starts a double-digit dog to Texas. Can they do enough to cover the number?
I don't like him here. I think this is a really bad matchup. Cam Scatabo is awesome, but I think running into the teeth of the Texas defense, I think this is where they get got without Jordan Tyson, their top wide receiver. They were able to overcome that miss and that loss in the Big 12 championship, Gill. I think this is where rubber meets the road. I think Texas, the beef that they have up front is just too much for the Sun Devils.
Okay, and then obviously the big ones, Ohio State, Oregon, Notre Dame, Georgia. What do you like best?
I'll just jump to Notre Dame, Georgia. I do lean Georgia. I put in a play at -120 on the money line. I think ultimately they've got a little bit too much up front with Notre Dame's injuries, but I like under 45.5 on Notre Dame, Georgia as well. I think this is very similar to what we saw in the season opener between Notre Dame and Texas A&M. I think defense rules the day, and I think the Bulldogs eke it out late tomorrow night down there in the Big East.
And once again, that's an Irish fan right there talking. Tim, enjoy the quarterfinals. Happy New Year, sir.
All right, Gil. See you, man.
At 1, that's the number 1, Tim Murray for Tim. Again, college football tailgate show, special college football tailgate show tomorrow.
That's right.
That's right, with Tim
After
in the
us.
seat. After us. Coming back, Will Hill, all his bets next.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy, really